We're fighting a campaign against leftists, socialists, and globalists who want to return to reckless wars, open borders, rampant crime, and totally disastrous one-way trade deals. We're changing that one around very quickly. They believe America is the world's piggy bank and that your tax dollars should subsidize the economy, military, and defense of every other nation in the world but our own. It's not happening anymore. Our political opposition made its fortune selling out our nation and its citizens, and you know that's what's been happening, and that's why 2016 was so important, and that's why 2020, I can never say it's more important, but you know, it's like the roots of a tree. You plant a baby tree, it's got to catch. Get that extra time. We'll have more tax cuts. We'll have even, I'll tell you what, we have rebuilt our military. What we've done has never been done before.
They had President Trump talking about how important 2016 was and how important 2020 will be. You know, one of the main reasons why he won, or why his base was so energized, especially online back in 2016, was the power of memes. In fact, there were studies done into the effectiveness of memes, one in particular by University College London, which found that the most effective memes spread in two places back in 2016 to help propel Trump to victory. One of them was the subreddit, the Donald, which of course has since been quarantined by Reddit. And the other one was, of course, 4chan. Now, in the months and the years since that time, we've seen Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter try in a myriad of different ways to crack down and censor political memes. And when we get back, I'm going to explain the latest offensive on that front. As 4chan itself prepares to relaunch their "It's okay to be white" stunt, we're going to talk about what Twitter is doing to once again censor and ban memes. Wait until you hear this new language that they've come out with, which is blatantly targeted towards banning memes. This is the Alex Jones Show, live breaking news at Infowars.com. We'll be back. We are live, and there's a headline up on Summit.news, a story that I wrote yesterday, which ties into this whole effort, this affront to ban memes, which is restarted in anticipation of the 2020 election. Headline: 4chan trolls planning to relaunch "It's okay to be white" stunt. Of course, they first did this back in 2017 as a way to troll the media and progressives into revealing the fact that they are, in fact, the true racists, which you saw again with the election of Canada's first black president, Justin Trudeau, last night, who, of course, is the #1 black-faced enthusiast across the entire planet. Progressives re-elected him. He's got a minority government, but he has been re-elected, proving once again that they don't care if somebody is a racist, so long as that racist is on their team. Well, that's similar to what 4chan did back in 2017 when they tried to highlight the bigotry of the left by posting these flyers across major cities and campuses that merely say "It's okay to be white." Of course, if anyone is triggered by that, if they have a bad reaction to it, it only shines a light on them. It only puts up a mirror to their face and reveals their own anti-white bigotry, because in essence, they're saying, no, it's not okay to be white. Well, now 4chan trolls are planning to repeat the stunt in order to force the media into generating a fresh moral panic about racism. So a bunch of posts which are featured in this article have appeared on 4chan over the past week or so about these posters, and it says that they're going to try the same stunt again on October 31st, Halloween, and try to cause a, quote, media freak out. They say that it should be even crazier this time. They're encouraging people to print the posters, to wear costumes, to plaster them everywhere. And in fact, another post that appeared on 4chan was about an unnamed school which has already alerted students and faculty as to the prospect of these deadly posters appearing on campus. Yes, the deadly, dastardly threat posed by pieces of paper with words on them, because, of course, in clown world, everything is a hysterical dog whistle to racism now. Many have commented the stunt is particularly cunning because it forces the left to adopt the ideologically bigoted view that it isn't okay to be white, thus revealing them to be the actual racists. That is the power of this meme. And we had a story out of Emmaus, Pennsylvania last year, where they had an absolute freak out after these posters appeared in a few places across the town of Emmaus, Pennsylvania. They were called a distasteful act of vandalism. And in fact, one resident, or I think he may have even been on the board of the council there, Joshua Westbrook, told a local news agency, quote, "I mean, we're surrounded by white privilege nowadays. It's just a fact. So it is completely racist to say it's okay to be white." So they're actually preparing to pull the same stunt once again on October 31st, because that was a very powerful meme. You can judge that it was a powerful meme by the way the left, by the way the media reacted to it, of course, completely falling for the bait, as they did with the OK hand sign, being another dog whistle for white supremacy. Well, now we have this headline. And I'm going to preface it actually before by flashing back to a headline we had on InfoWars from May, Instagram to fact check and remove memes. And that is when Instagram announced that it would begin fact checking and removing memes. They would be using 52 global fact checking partners. Even though memes aren't even supposed to be factual, they're satirical illustrations or cartoons mainly, to censor false photos and memes on its platform. That was happening back in May. And as I wrote in the article at the time, quite why memes have to be fact-checked at all, given they're almost always satirical and are not intended to be statements of fact, maybe a mystery to some. It's actually not a mystery at all, because even a Vice write-up of a study by the University College London found that the most effective memes in 2016 that helped propel Donald Trump to election originated in two places: the subreddit The Donald, which has now been castrated and quarantined by Reddit, and of course, the poll forum on 4chan. And then you had BuzzFeed lobbying Twitter to ban a meme which made fun of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You had Facebook announcing the deployment of a large-scale AI program called Rosetta, which would, quote, automatically proactively identify inappropriate or harmful content in images on social networks. The left can't meme, so it's so much easier to ban memes, and academic studies have proven that those memes were really successful in energizing Trump's base, helping him build that enthusiasm during 2016, which is why the left, the progressive networks, are in a blind panic about the power of memes. Remember, on Twitter, they were banning people. In fact, that's why James Woods was suspended. I can't recall if he ever actually came back to Twitter after this, for posting a satirical meme which encouraged male Democratic voters to stay at home during the 2018 midterms to allow women to express their voice. Of course, that's a joke. Making them stay at home would make Democrats lose the election. That's a point. It's a joke. But Twitter and Facebook then embarked on a program of not only taking those memes down, but suspending and banning users who posted them. I remember I was suspended back when I had a Facebook account before they banned me entirely for being a dangerous person, suspended for a month for posting that very meme. There's a war on memes because the left can't meme, and because memes are entirely effective and dangerous to their agenda, because they have no sense of humor, because they're permanently walking on eggshells, petrified of offending anybody with humor, which is why they're so terrible at memes. We have this headline out of nationalfile.com. Twitter gears up for meme ban ahead of 2020. They announced yesterday, Twitter safety, keeping everyone safe, that for everyone's safety, because they really care about you, they will soon be limiting, quote, synthetic and manipulated media, otherwise known as memes, on the social platform. Bear in mind, that's not just memes. When they say manipulated media, that is anything that they claim was manipulated by the political right to negatively impact Democrats, progressives, the left. You will remember the Jim Acosta hand slap, the infamous hand slap against the White House intern back in, I think it was November last year. They had an entire media narrative that I had personally faked a video of Jim Acosta slapping down an intern's hand, or at least sped it up or manipulated the footage to try and paint a different narrative. That wasn't true. never manipulated the footage, stood by that from day one to the end, didn't matter. They claimed it was manipulated, so that's why they're doing this. Synthetic and manipulated media is any media that they claim has been altered, so then they can immediately remove it before it goes viral. Now, yes, obviously that includes deep fake technology, which many people have said is a threat to democracy. Yes, that will get removed. But again, it's this broad brush. It's this pushing the boundaries. What is deemed synthetic, what is deemed fake news. Beforehand, they never said they would remove, quote, fake news, because fake news is entirely subjective. You've seen how many times Snopes gets it wrong because they have a biased, partisan left-wing agenda. Fake news to some people is reality to other people. Doesn't mean there isn't fake news. There is. But again, it's degrees of variation and it's degrees of subjectivity. So, of course, this is going to be abused to ban memes. Article continues. After Donald Trump's unprecedented 2016 victory against Hillary Clinton, against mammoth odds, most right-leaning Twitter users have witnessed a severe backlash in the form of censorship and shadow banning on major social media platforms. But now Twitter has announced, and this is their quote from Twitter Safety yesterday, what is synthetic and manipulated media? It's media that's been significantly altered or created in a way that changes the original meaning, purpose, or makes it seem like certain events took place that didn't actually happen. That describes memes. That describes the Nickelback video where they held up the photograph and it was Joe Biden and his son doing corrupt business dealings with Ukrainians. Twitter took that down as a result of a claimed copyright violation, but that would fit entirely into this new definition of manipulated media, when, of course, it wasn't manipulated. It was a satirical meme meant to make a point. Now, with this new announcement, that gives them carte blanche to ban that precise kind of thing. We'll be back. Infowars.com. Don't go away.